want to welcome you. I don't know how you found us. It could be through social media. Maybe you've been following me or subscribed to one of my channels. But I wanted to thank you, and I wanted to give you the offering that I think will make a dramatic impact on your life. As we brain hack to harness the power of rejection, what we're really looking at is thinking about it entirely differently. Because most of us, when we get rejected, since it is the #1 fear of mankind, most people will go way out of their way to do anything not to get rejected. I remember when I was young and dating, and I didn't want making a phone call and then have her say no. So I called a friend of hers and asked her to call her up and to find out if I asked her out, if she'd say yes. And then the friend called me back and said, she'll say yes. I was still nervous making the phone call. What if she changes her mind? And as we get older, we look at rejection in a lot of different ways. I know you're going to find this PDF fascinating in assisting you in being able to look at the real gift that rejection has to offer. And when we look at things differently, and sometimes the same, our whole perception begins to change. Sometimes we learn in the strangest situations. Years ago, I was teaching a psychology class to seniors in high school. And it was in the Northwest. It was a gorgeous day out. It was getting close to graduation. And so trying to get their attention was very difficult, maybe not close to impossible at best. But anyway, I just came up with this idea. I said, hey, would anybody be interested if they could go through life and never experience rejection? And it was very heartbreaking because immediately this young lady sitting in the front row started crying. She had an orange pantsuit on. And I found out later on, that morning when she got to school, her best friend came up and said, you actually wore that? And then she had to go through the rest of the day with that on her mind. So rejection can be a very difficult thing. It can hurt. We all know that. But as I got back on track, I said, so would any of you like to go through life and never be rejected? No, every hand went up. Who wouldn't? I said, what would you need to do? And most of the responses were, don't show up, never leave the house, don't try anything. And as you can probably think of some things yourself where you'd never have to experience rejection. Then in the back of the room, there was a young man who raised his hand. Let's call him John. And John had been a good student, but he wasn't very vocal. He pretty much kept to himself. He seemed confident enough, but he just wasn't participating. So I was really interested in what is he going to share. And so when I looked at him, I called on him because everybody else had exhausted the avenues of how to go through life and not be rejected. And he said, it's easy. I'm thinking, this ought to be good. He said, accept yourself first. I want you to think about that. When that takes place, and you're going to find some really key avenues on how to get there when you download that PDF, is you're going to recognize that most of the time what we've been doing is looking outside to find acceptance. And when we start to look inside, we're going to find some answers that'll truly allow us to harness the power and to find the gifts in rejection and be able to live a most delicious life. So I look forward to hearing from you, and please share your comments on what you got back from the gift that I am gladly giving to you, and that is the harnessing of something that most people reject. So instead of rejecting rejection, let's find the gift inside and make it a life worth living. Have a great one, and I look forward to sharing with you soon. So stay tuned.